other looping statement also, but I'm telling we can have nested for loop. All are listening? So I will explain this concept and then go into that program because I missed this syntax PPT slide. I kept after the program. Sorry for that. So here first understand and then we will move on to the program. Nested for loop. Nesting of for loop is nothing but one for loop is kept nested inside another for loop. Are you all listening? So this is an important question for the UNSD exam. So you have to understand what is a for loop. Only one line is there, one for statement within another for statement. So one for statement becomes the body of the another for statement. If one for statement, one for loop becomes the body of another for loop, then that is known as a nesting of for loop. Got it? So there will be two things, which is that is like one outer for loop and there is an inner for loop. Got it? So we will be using two different control variables to control the outer for loop as well as the inner for loop. So as I told before, a for loop, the body of the loop is delimited or made into a block using a curly bracket. So the outer for loop will be starting from here and ending up to here, right? The outer for loop. And inside the outer for loop body, we have an inner for loop. We have a inner for loop. Got it? So this is exactly one for loop which is kept inside the body of the first or the outer for loop. So we will be using separate control variables for both the outer for loop and also the inner for loop. Lavanya? She was raising hand. So after giving attendance, you should all listen over here. So I'll be asking you about the control variables. So these control variables are tested and initialized separately for the outer for loop and the inner for loop. So you are all clear about the syntax of a nested for loop, right? So mostly in all the question papers, it will be there. What is a nested for loop? It is a nested for loop. What is a nested for loop? A for loop inside another for loop. So we can write it as a for statement within another for statement is called a nesting for loop. So we will have one outer for loop and an inner for loop. For both for loops, we will be using different control variables with the initialization, testing, and the increment or decrement of the control variables. Or both are for both we will be using separate variables. So making use of this nesting of for loop, we can write programs. I had already shown simple for loop statements without any nesting that we have completed in the before the features of additional features of for loop, right? We had executed one program also with that, right? Printing of 10 numbers and printing of a multiplication number that was using a simple for loop. It was not using making use of any nested for loop. Now we are going to see a condition or a looping of which is having a nested for loop. So I'll just explain a small program, then we will go to the half pyramid. Okay, I kept the slide in different order, that's why. So here, yeah, in the last class, we were seeing printing of the numbers from 1 to a particular number or 10 numbers using a single for loop, right? We were printing the numbers from 1 to 10 using a single for loop. Now, if you want to print 10 times the values from 1 to 10, listen here, we are going to print 10 times values from 1 to 10. 10 times values from 1 to 10. So what will happen now? We will be making use of an outer loop and an inner loop. Got it? You see the length of the code now. It is very small, but we will be printing the output, which is like how many times it will be 10 into, like for each time we will be printing from 1 to 10. So 10 times 1 to 10. Understood? So how many lines of code will be there? Here the value of I is like that. No, it will be printing for each value of I. It will be printing the value of values from 1 to 10. So we will see for printing that much lines of code, we are making use of only few lines over here, right? So it will be more than 100, right? That many lines of code we are printing only with 4 lines or merely 4 lines of code. So you will see how it is done. Here we are using the concept of nested for loop. Tell me, answer in the chat box, what are the control variables used for the outer for loop? Answer in the chat box. I need immediate answers, as you were answering for your quiz.
I, ma'am.
I. What is the control variable used in the inner loop? Fast, inner loop. Karthik answer first. So you are fast. So here we are using 2 control variables. Good. All are listening. So we are using 2 for loops. One is an outer for loop in which the variable is I. Sometimes I'll be just checking only the attendance with this one. The question, not with the initial attendance what you are giving, because now I feel like in the beginning you were all there. Now slowly you are also learning techniques just to give attendance and leave. So we should be alert, initially all will be listening, and then when second hour of lab comes, then all will be. So you should be alert. It's my choice now. I'll be taking only the attendance of answers, not the initial. So here the second variable is or the inner for loop control variable is j, right? So here what will happen or what becomes the body of the loop now? So we will see what exactly will be the body of the loop. So we know for the outer for loop, we have the delimiting curly bracket, which is starting immediately after the for loop. All lines of code which are given within this block will be taken as the body of the loop, which will be executed if the condition I less than or equal to 10 is satisfied. Are you all listening? So if the condition I less than or equal to 10 is satisfied, then the body of the loop will be executed, right? So here we are giving the condition that initialized I equal to 1 to I less than or equal to 10. So for how many times it will be executing? Until the condition I less than or equal to 10 turns out to be true. The body of the loop. What consists of the body of the loop? Printf, the value, the I value is, it will be printing the I value, and then it will be moving on to the next line. For j equal to 1 to j less than or equal to 10, j plus plus, printf, the j value is, it will be printing j. So this becomes the body of the loop for the outer for loop. Body of the loop for the outer for loop. Now you know inside this outer for loop body, we have an inner for loop. For the inner for loop, tell me what is the body of the loop. For the inner for loop, for which the control variable is j, what is the, just the beginning of the sentence is enough, the body of the loop. Answer in the chat box, what becomes the body of the loop for the inner for loop? Answer in the chat box. Yes, Mehboob has answered, no? Javed, what is that? Print 0, print of 0. Printf statement, that is all are printing, which prints the value of j. Good. So I could see only few students, that few set of students always answering. All should be listening. Then only this concept, if you understand, only you can write that pyramid program and all. That is very interesting. Boys will be, you see, mostly boys. Girls also in this class. I could see all girls are also very active. So you could be, you will be printing many types of pyramids. Then you will increase your logic also with this. You see, here we are having inner for loop in which we have only one line as the body of the loop. Inner for loop which we have given is we have a bracket over here, right? Even if you didn't mention the bracket also, one line which we are giving now, for one line we need not have bracket, but still this line is taken as the body of the loop for the inner for loop. Right? So what is the meaning of this body of the loop, or how many times this body of the loop will be executed until the condition is satisfied. What is the condition given? J should be less than or equal to 10, right? J equal to 1 to J less than or equal to 10. Now we will check how many times, how this program will be executed. Now tell me what will be the first value of I. What will be the first value of I when the program reaches here execution? What will be the first value of I? Mehboob answered 1, right? So I equal to 1 will be the, yeah, I am just telling you, I equal to 1, right? We know that when I equal to 1, after making I equal to 1, it will move to the body of the loop. So what is the first line? It will execute body of the loop for the outer for loop. Printf, the value, the I value is percentage %d. Instead of percentage %d, it will be printing the value of I. What is the value of I? Value of I is 1. So it will be printing what? The I value is 1, right? Now in the next, so you know the body of the loop will be executed once and then again it will go for incrementing. So the next line which is coming in the body of the loop of the outer for loop is the next for loop, right? It is moving to the next for loop, which is the inner for loop for J equal to 1. For J equal to 1, we just initialize the second control variable J equal to 1. Now it is moving on to the body of the loop of the inner for loop, which is again inside the body of the loop of the outer for loop, right? So here it will be printing printf, the J value is J. So what value of J will be printed here? Because we initialize J equal to 1, it will be printing the value of J. Value of J equal to 1. So now the value of J, it will be printing the J value is, instead of percentage %d, it will be printing 1. Got it? So now it is printing I value, it was printing. So it will be printing I value as 1, J value is 1, right? Now tell me to which line the program will be moving now, the program control. So now we have reached here, right? So to which line now the control, the program control will be moving? Can you answer?
For I equal to 1.
You are telling, who is answering? Sushankar. You are telling it will be going to this for loop, in the beginning of the for loop. Sushankar, you are telling it will be going to I equal to 1. Who was answering?
That I didn't answer, ma'am.
Okay, I thought.
Even I feel it should go there on. Even I feel that for that only, ma'am.
Others, somebody had Janani, Mehboob had answered for I equal to 1. Janani is telling inner loop, right? And Nirma is telling for loop for I equal to 1. Tell me now, Janani, which is the inner loop? Inner loop is, Janani.
J.
So only Janani answered correctly. Here it will be moving to the inner loop, inner for loop, and it will be incrementing the value of J. Once it is inside the outer for loop and then it is having an inner for loop, means it will complete the execution of the inner for loop, then only the body of the loop of the outer loop will be completed, right? Then only it will be moving back to the increment of outer for loop. Got it? So this for loop, the inner for loop is within the body of the outer for loop. So here, if you have given J equal to 1 to J less than or equal to 10, until this condition is satisfied, this printf statement will be executed. When it is false, only it will come out of this for loop. Then only the program control reaches here and then it will move back to the increment of I variable. Got it? So when it is printing this value, it will be incrementing. Again, it will be checking. It will be printed. Again, it will move on to the incrementing of J value. It will be checking. It will be printing. Like this, how many times it will print? It will be printing 10 times, because J equal to 1 to J less than or equal to 10. J less than or equal to 10. It will be printing the value of J. J equal to 1. So first it will be printing 1. So what happened now? Ultimately, what has happened is, so initially we printed the value of I is 1. Now when it reaches this line, it will be printing the value of J, which is starting is 1. Then it will increment and print the value of J as 2. Then it will be printing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it will be printing up to 10. So now this, when it becomes j value becomes 10, then also it will be printing the value of j as 10. Then after that, it will increment the j by 1. That becomes j equal to 11. Then it will check whether j is less than, now the value of j is 11 means 11 is not less than 10. 11 is not equal to 10. Then the condition is false. It will come out of this body of the loop. Is it clear? So when it comes out of the body of the loop, then only it will be moving on to the outer for loop for incrementing the value of I. Tell me what will be the value of I in the after execution or after printing the j value up to 10, it will be again moving back to the outer for loop. Now in the second iteration, tell me what will be the value of I. Janani, you are listening. Yes, good. Janani, Mehboob also answered. Nirmal also answered. Sachin answered. Now the value of I will be 2. Got it? So it will be printing 2 now. After incrementing the value of I, it will be checking whether I is less than 10. Yes, it is less than 10. Then it will move on to the next line. That is printf. The I value is 2. Here the I value, it was printing 1. Now in this iteration, it will be printing 2. Are you getting? Now the whole thing again, after printing the value of I equal to 2, it will move on to this line. For j equal to 1 to j less than or equal to 10, j plus plus. Now what will happen? How many values will be printed for j now? How many values? From which value to which value? So now the current value of I is 2, it was printing. Then it is moving to this line. It will be printing of j value as 1. Yes. But it will be Janani Mehboob. Actually, no, it will be starting from 1 itself. Understood? From 1 to 10, it will be printing. Janani answered. Javid also you started with the 2. They just correct 1 to 10. Anina Gash also correct. Here, even though I value became 2, but we are using in j in the inner for loop j equal to 1 only. Understood? So it will be printing from j equal to 1. So 1, 2, 3, j value is 1, j value is 2, j value is 3. Like that, it will be printing up to which value? Up to 10 itself. Check what is the initialization. Initial value of j is 1 and we are printing the value of j only. Got it? It's not printing the value of I. Here it will be printing 2 because here we have incremented the value of I. That is the outer control variable, right? Outer for loop control variable. When this 10 values are over, when it becomes 11, it will come out of this for loop, right? Then it will move on to the outer for loop. It will increment the value of I. Then it will be printing the value of I is 3. Got it? When it prints the value of I equal to 3, again it will move on to the this line for j equal to 1. Again it will be printing what? From 1 to 10. Got it? So this also it will be printing up to 1 to 10. Again it will move on to here. The value of I will be printed 4. Got it? So I hope this is clear. You have to write a small example. This example will be enough. If they are asking what is a for loop, give the syntax. Mention about outer for loop and inner for loop, how the control variables are used separately and for testing and for incrementing, and then give a small example in which a program to print 10 numbers. You can give 2 for loops for the nested for loop. Outer for loop is control variable is I, inner for loop control variable is j. Got it? So likewise you can show the program. Okay, so making use of the same inner and outer for loop, now we are going to explain the half pyramid and full pyramid and all. Okay, so we will first see. So I hope this is clear. Inside the outer for loop, we are having what all we mentioned, that becomes the body of the loop for the outer for loop. So within the outer body of the loop of the outer for loop, we have one more for loop. That means it will be for the inner for loop, if you it has to execute that many times we have the control variable mentioned. So until this condition is satisfied, it will be performing the body of the loop of the inner for loop. So we'll see how this is printed. So here, as I told, here the outer for loop, the body of the outer for loop. Body of the outer for loop, I have shown it as delimited by this yellow bracket. Got it? The body of the loop is mentioned here. What is the body of the loop or the outer for loop? And inside inside the body we have another for loop, which is becomes the inner for loop. For that I am giving a green color now. So this becomes the body of the loop of the inner for loop. Got it? So the whole when I value equal to 1, it will execute all the lines which are mentioned in the body of the loop for the outer for loop as well as the inner for loop. So when it reaches the inner for loop, then again it will check until this condition is satisfied, this body of the loop will be executed. Is it clear? So now we will see what will be the iterations. What will be the iterations and how it will be performing. So here you know that in the first, when we run this program, we are using a variable called rows. Instead of R, I have used rows. Okay, you can use any name, right? Variable name of any length. But until now, we were using only single character. You can use something which is understandable. So here, what we mean, the variable to accept the number of rows for the pyramid, for the half pyramid. So our program is to print a half pyramid of stars. Got it? To print a half pyramid of stars. So it is like a dynamic program, right? Not dynamic. Whenever the user is entering 4, you should be seeing a half pyramid of 4 rows, right? 10 means you should be seeing a half pyramid of 10 rows, right? That's why we are using a variable. Otherwise, we can write the program with instead of using variable name, we can directly give 10. So it will be static. Always it will be printing 10 rows. That's why we are making use of the variables. So whenever the user is asked for entering the number of rows, suppose if I enter the number of rows as 5. Are you all listening? You should answer me, okay, when I'm telling the value.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so here when I entered the number of rows as 5. Now, first for loop, outer for loop, you know, the control variable I am using is I. The control variable I am using is I. Tell me the testing expression. Substitute the values of the testing expression and tell me what will be the testing expression for the outer for loop. I equal to 1 and we have entered the number of rows as 5. Tell me the testing expression. Yes, Mehboob answered first. You should be fast. Only this testing expression. Substitute the values of the variable and tell me. Nevin, you answered with the variable name. Rows, I have number of rows I gave as 5. So what should be the expression now? Exactly what I have given here. Karthik also didn't sub. Karthik, it is wrong. I value for the first iteration I equal to 1, right? Listen, I equal to 1 I told and rows equal to 5. So substitute this in the testing expression. I equal to 1 means 1 less than, it will be checking, right? 1 less than or equal to rows is 5.
Yes,
So even if you write I also no problem, I'm telling, you got it, right? So in the first for loop, the testing expression is whether 1 is less than or equal to 5. You know 1 is less than 5. So it will be moving to the body of the loop, right? Now in the second inner for loop, we have the j variable as a control variable. J is initialized to 1. J is initialized to 1. Be ready. Answer in the chat box. What is the testing condition? Substitute the values of I and j and write the testing condition for the inner for loop. Wow, Mehboob has answered. First is Nirma. Nirma also answered. Yes, yes. Nisha, J value, you have to substitute. Nisha and Pradeep also. Karthik, correct. Now all are answering correct. Everyone should not do that, then I will not understand. So here, when I equal to 1, we are reaching here, the inner for loop. And now inside the inner for loop, the testing condition is given as j less than or equal to I, right? You know, when I equal to 1, we are checking the inner for loop, right? Inner for loop, where we are checking whether j is less than or equal to I. right? Now all are answering correctly. So J value and I value both will be 1 in the first iteration. Got it? So we know that J value is 1 because just now we initialized J value as 1, right? J value is 1, whether it is less than or equal to I value. When I value is 1 only, we started moving to the body of the loop. So I value is also 1. We are checking whether 1 is less than. 1 is not less than, but 1 is equal to 1, right? 1 is equal to 1. So this condition is satisfied. So it will be moving to the body of the loop of the inner for loop. What is given in the body of the loop of the inner for loop? Print a star, right? We are giving a asterisk to be printed. So now what will happen? It will be printing. It will not be printing I equal to 1 and j equal to 1 and all. It will only printf statement we have given is, even though I value, I was asking you to print in the chat box, I given the chat box value of I and j. What is happening now is it will be printing the body of the loop which is given as star, right? It will be printing only 1 star. Now tell me to which line the control will be moving. The program control will be moving to which line after printing of this line? Answer in the chat box. To which line?
Inner loop.
Inner loop. So it will be moving on to the increment of the inner for loop, right? Where the control variable j is incremented. Good. So here inner for loop, all understood, no? So here increment of inner for loop, we will be incrementing the j value. So be ready. Answer in the chat box. What will be the after incrementing? You told we are moving after printing a 1 star. We'll be moving to the inner for loop. So now our condition is we have just printed 1 star, and then we are moving on to the inner for loop increment. Tell me what will be the testing condition. Substitute the values of j and I. Give the testing condition. J equal to 2. So it will be checking 2 less than. Nirma as Anina also correct. Mehboob also correct. Girls are first. Now I think girls will be printing pyramid. Karthik. Good. Fast you should be printing. You should be typing. Okay, good. Tejasini, Jabastin, Gayatri, Arun. Okay, understood now. So here J will be incremented, but I value will be still 1 only. I want to check that only. Here, I value is still 1. Got it? Only j value we are incrementing. Understood? So we are checking what? Here, j value we have incremented to 2. Whether 2 is less than or equal to, what is the current value of I? Current value of I is 1. Are you getting? So tell me whether it will be turning true or false. J is 2 and I is 1. I am checking 2 whether it is less than 1. No, 2 is not less than 1. 2 whether it is equal to 1. No, it is not less and not equal. So we will exit from the inner for loop. Are you getting? So after printing 1 star, we are exiting from the inner for loop. Tell me to which line the program control will be moving. To which line the program controlling? False, I understood. Now to which line? When the condition is false, to which line the program control will be moving? To which line?
Outer loop, ma'am.
Outer loop. See what line that is. The beginning of that outer for loop. You tell me. Sanghavi, Naveen and all had answered. And before it. Tell me to which line exactly it will be moving. Naveen also answered. What Naveen answered?
Plus, ma'am. Increment.
Nikita also
Second one.
answered. Mahbub has answered correctly. That and all have given printf. That means which printf I didn't understand, but still, I told you the beginning of the line is enough. No, to this line, that is printf/n, which is a new line. Understood? After exiting from this inner for loop, one more line of the outer for loop is still there. This new line. Are you all getting? Got it? Outer for loop only, but this line, it is coming under the outer for loop. This bracket, until this bracket is over, this all comes under the outer for loop. Understood? So, it's correct. All were answering correct only. Printf, that is printf new line. Got it? So, our cursor, after printing the star, it was staying here. What will happen now? It will move to the next line. New line means the cursor will come down. Got it? Is it clear? After this printf, then it encounters a curly bracket. That means after for loop is over, to which line it will be moving now? To which line it will be moving now? You know, after now once the body of the loop of the outer for loop is over, now what will happen is now it will be going to for. Mehboob had answered for this for I equal to 1. Got it? So for this line, where exactly now it will be working after the body of the loop is executed, it will increment the value of I. Tell me what is the next testing condition. What is the next testing condition for the outer for loop? Substitute the values and tell me. We incremented the value of I, right? We incremented the value of I. So Karthik was the first. Mehboob, Nirma, Jabastin. So here now I incremented to 2, right? So we will be substituting the value of I as 2. But what is the value of rows? We have entered the value of rows is 5. That is constant only, right? 2 less than or equal to 5. 2 less than or equal to 5. Manikandan. It is Arbarkan. All you should answer what exactly. Substitute here and tell. Okay, I equal to 2. Then we are substituting. This is the testing expression. 2, whether it is less than or equal to 5. Right? You know, 2 is less than 5. All are listening. It becomes a true condition. Right? So it becomes a true condition. So it becomes a true condition. So we had printed 1 star and our cursor is waiting the next line. That time we went back here and incremented. We know that 2 is less than, we are checking whether 2 is less than or equal to 5. We know 2 is less than 5. Then what will happen? The program control will move to execute the body of the loop of the outer for loop. Now we reached the second inner for loop. So what is the testing condition for the, one more time I'll just ask, what is the testing condition for the inner for loop? Substitute the values of j and I. Let me see.
1 is equal, less than or equal to 2.
1
And then
less than or equal to, most of you had, Mehboob answered correct, but Karthik, you have given 1 less than or equal to 1. No, here, what is the value of I? Value of I, now it is 2. Got it? So it will be j value started from 1 because we are again initializing j value. Understood? Got it? Some of you.
yes, ma'am.
So here it is like you should work your brain, otherwise you will not get here. Again j value starting from 1. Even though I value is 2 now, j value is starting from 1. Got it? 1 less than or equal to 2. You know 1 is less than 2. Right? So this condition becomes true. So it will be moving to the body of the loop of the inner for loop. It will be printing a star. So our cursor was staying in the next line because of this new line in the previous execution. Now it will be printing a star in the second line. Tell me, after this, where will be the program control moving? Answer in the chat box. Is it to this for
Inner
loop?
loop, ma'am.
Inner for loop
For
or
loop.
this printf statement? Inner for loop.
Inner, ma'am.
Inner for loop, yes. So inner for loop, what will happen now? It will increment the j value. It will increment the, after printing the star, after printing the star, it will move to the inner for loop j increment. So now what becomes j value? J becomes 2. So it will be checking what is the testing condition now? 2, whether it is less than or equal to 2. I value is 2 only. Got it? I value will be incrementing only in the outer for loop. Here we are incrementing only the j value. So it will be checking whether 2 is less than or equal to 2. 2 is not less than, but 2 is equal to 2, right? Again, the condition is true. It will be printing the, it will be moving to the body of the loop. It will be printing a star. So what will happen? We didn't give any new line, right? Our cursor was staying after the printing of this first star. Now we will print the second star over here. Are you all getting? Are you all getting? So 2 stars now.
Yes.
Now where it will be moving? Again, it will move to the for loop and it will be incrementing the j value to 3. So it will be